And the reason why they use the red wine is because they normally infuse it with adrenochrome or some kind of blood product.
Okay.
Right. So drinking my blood, eating my flesh, thinking them things.
That church stuff. My body, the blood is for the wine is for the drink, the wine of the blood, and the chip or the crackers was for the body. Yeah, that they did in church.
It's called a ritual. It's called a cannibalistic ritual.
Yeah.
By cannibalizing the god, the belief is that you can incorporate the body of the god into your body.
Okay.
Right. So this gets cannibalism. And one of the things that the cannibals tell you is when they first eat somebody, that they get a rush, and the rush is the energy from that person they absorb.
Okay.
So if they kill a brave warrior, even if they're not cannibals, sometimes they'll eat a piece of them.
Ooh.
And that's traced back all the way to, you can trace that back in almost every landmass.
Okay. Yeah, I studied up on it's funny you was mentioning that Putin, however you Vladimir.
Yep. Vladimir.
So from Romania or Armenia. Was it in another Vlad? Was it a Vlad the Conqueror? What was his name?
Vlad, it's Vlad the Impaler.
The Impaler, yeah.
Right.
And it goes back to the same thing because they got pictures of him from the I guess his era where he used to cut the heads off the people and hang them around the castle. So when people would come to him for war, I guess they said that that it was so gruesome that they would turn away.
So they call him the Impaler because he would stick a long spear through the bodies and stick them up like telephone lights, like night lights. Like we got street lights, them would be bodies.
Okay.
And they would be leading up to his castle. And and that was the body of the people he defeated in battle. And he would put them up there to warn anybody else coming to fuck with him that I got something for your ass too.
Okay. Well, let me see the picture. Listen, so my kid's cousin, she my niece, because I've been watching her since she was little. I said she returned. I got a picture of a Seminole girl from like the 1800s. And when I say, you got the picture? Look at this picture. If you can see it. Let me see if I can get it. I said, welcome home. Look at this picture. That's her prom picture. She's in 8th grade. That's the same girl.
It's a little blurry. I'm familiar with the old Seminole picture. I can't see her that clear though.
Let me see if I can get it. It's probably the light in my kitchen. Hold on. Mommy, run off. Did it go off? Put it back on. Oh, here it go.
No, it's just that the camera not adjusting the focus.
Okay. Yeah, I said she returned. I sent her this picture. I said, oh my God, that's my niece. And this was an 1800 picture. But she's a Seminole. So when you say
the Seminoles is we all went to fight in the Seminole Wars. Some villages uprooted the whole village.
Okay.
To come fight in them Seminole Wars.
Yeah.
So the term Seminole, that was not the term. That's not how we named ourselves.
It's many tribes that was like, it was Creek. It was a gang of tribes from all over. When I do my ancestry, it takes me to my mother's father's side, Bluntstown. Is it Bluntstown, Florida, where the Seminoles was at. But when you start researching, and you'll understand that the Seminoles was in South Carolina, they were in Georgia. They were probably I think they were in Virginia. One of my great-great-grandfathers was a Seminole. He got killed in Virginia, like they couldn't find him or something, but I guess he was in the wars. He was in the fighting the wars.
Yep, Seminole Wars.
But they would call them they was the Seminole Wars, but they was calling them, what is it with the Confederate? They was Confederate soldiers. They wasn't Union though. They was fighting for they was fighting for Florida, or they was fighting for South Carolina. And so I tell people, like, that Confederate flag used to be our ancestors.
That's it. They be telling us that the Confederate flag is the racist flag, right?
No.
This red, white, and blue shit we got is the racist flag. Like me and my father had this conversation before he passed, and I was like, Pops, didn't half as many people die under the Confederate flag in race-related issues as it was under this red, white, and blue Old Glory? But we didn't know at the time that they had usurped us like they did.
No. Well, it makes sense. Your enemy will get you if they look like you. So when they say, oh, they sold you to the Africans, is the Moors, the Africans, and Europe, is it all the same? That's what I was wondering.
No. Look, I went over this earlier. The Moors that got kicked out of Europe, they're not even from here.
Okay. Yeah, I heard you. I was watching it.
They invaded Africa around the same time they invaded us looking for a home.
Okay.
So they had the
Dutch. They was doing invading around the world.
Right.
Okay.
Now, if you look at the timeline, they went into India first under Alexander.
Okay.
Then they fought a long, drawn-out war with the Huns and the Mongols. Right, and they fought wars against the Hindus.
Yeah.
They took POWs as permanent slaves from all of those communities, and when they got kicked out, that's who they brought over as servants.
Okay. The Mongoloids.
Right. Because we already had dealings with them, right? Going way back. The people from this land married people from Asia and from Africa thousands of years before any Moors ever landed 1 foot over here. They trying to convince us that the Moorish Empire is ancient. They flag not ancient. Their religion not ancient. Right? They first stronghold in Europe was around 500 AD.
Okay.
As Roman.
Okay.
Right? But they established the Roman Empire before they flooded Spain and Portugal, going into what they call Rome.
Okay.
Right? They crossed out Hannibal, had him. Right. So that's the same people. Okay.
So they went against war with Hannibal. That's why I was wondering. So Hannibal wasn't a Moor. He wasn't a Moor.
He was a Carthaginian priest.
Okay.
He was a priest of war, what you call him a general. Right. Okay. They call him a general in modern ranking system, but back then he was called the high priest of war.
Okay.
Right. So his job is when the country go to war, he was to lead the troops in the battle.
Okay.
So they infiltrated the Senate in Carthage in order to cut off his supply line so that they couldn't fund the war, and they left him in the battlefield with no supplies.
Okay. Wow.
Once he realized what was going on, he knew that the next day was going to invade Carthage, so he tried to get back home, and then Rome cut him off, and that's his first and only defeat. Yeah.
Well, I got a question. I'm in Jersey. It's storming. Like, it was like 70-something degrees today, but you could feel like in the atmosphere it's something spiritual going on. Like, people not catching it. I don't want to be sounding crazy. I know I do, but I still go on with my belief because my beliefs is my spiritual it's always been there. It ain't just come overnight. You see what I'm saying? From a child, I always had a sixth sense. My kids got it. I got it. It's something different in the air right now, though. So I'm thinking we're in a change of everything. That's the prediction of everything that we've been putting out, that energy for it to flip over. Big Mama is working her. I can feel she working her magic, but at the same time, she protecting us that need the protection because the war is on us right now. You see the gas prices. So they hollering the war over there.
So let me explain the gas prices so it'll make a little bit more sense to the people that's watching. We phasing out oil and gas, fossil fuels, because it's damaging to the environment. This is why all of the auto manufacturers is going to the production of electric vehicles, which is going to go to the production of perpetual energy vehicles.
Okay, what's she doing?
Right, so they know that this their last run on the fuel supply, because in 20 years we're not going to be using fossil fuels. That shit it's going to be worthless.
Okay.
So they're trying to get all they can out while it's going down.
I'm like from last week to this week, and I'm in Jersey, but the gas was like $3.60. So when I went to fill up this week, it was like $4.29. I'm like, what's going on?
Hey, look, they got a thing on TikTok now. People going to gas stations talking about the most expensive place they ever been.
It's the truth. It's the truth.
Look, one dude took his girl to the gas station. He said, my girlfriend asked me to take her somewhere expensive. He had blindfolded and took her to the gas station.
It's expensive, okay? Listen, if I had a motorcycle, I would be jumping on that and the car would stay parked, because not just the gas at the gas station, they're heating gas.
Look, they trying to tax us all they can on the fall.
So what you say about that with the heating gas? Because I'm looking at that bill like they taxing us just to have it put in. So you're taxing us to get it. You're not even taxing what we using. How that work?
So that's a little different. So what they charging is different companies that own pipelines that go to different subdivisions.
Okay.
The rent on the pipeline is what you call the tax.
Yeah.
Right. So the person that owned the pipeline, he owned the pipeline as holder in due course. That means he's the actual owner. You're not even the owner in due course of your car. That's why the state can pull up and throw that bitch away and you can't say nothing about it.
Yeah, because you turn it over to the state when you get it registered. Absolutely.
Well, even when you finance a car, if you don't read all of the paperwork, which most of us don't, you will never know that
they
when
don't
you
give
pick
you the
the car
title.
up, right? They're not gonna give you the title.
Nope.
Right? Because if you ask for the true title, then if they give you the title, then you don't have to pay for the car. You own it.
Yeah. Yep.
That's the collateral. That's what they holding back, the paperwork. That's why this is the whole system is based on paper chains and the adhesion contract.
Contraction. We under contract law with, and it's private contract, and then it's public. Like we're in the public. So when you got all your senators and all of them, they in the private. They not never paying taxes, even though they say we're gonna tax the rich. They ain't paying taxes because they in the private. That's what Trump said. They said, well, why you got all these, huh?
Look, that's not how the rich boy paying taxes though.
Yeah, they don't, do they?
They avoid paying taxes they don't own nothing.
Okay.
They put everything in a trust or the foundation name. And the trust and the foundation is a 501 something, C3, C2 or something.
Yeah.
But the foundation ends up being a non-profit, a non-tax entity.
That's where they do the charities, right? The big charities.
Well, look, if you go to the Rothschilds, they don't own nothing, or the Rockefellers, but all of their wealth is through the Rothschild Institute or the Rockefeller Foundation.
Oh, wow.
They can live off of it. They just can't put it in their personal account.
They can live off, what they living off, the interest?
The petty cash drawer.
Okay. Okay. That's crazy. Did you hear about the lady in New York at the subway? Her name was, what was her name? Annie Rothschild. It was funny because, it wasn't funny, but they said that she had they hit her upside the head with a hammer. Somebody mugged her and robbed her. And so I said to my mother, I said something more to the story. Let me look into it. What was her name? Her name was Annie or Annabelle Rothschild. I said Rothschild. Everybody don't got that name, right? I guess she's one of the scientists of the of the health and wellness or something, or mental health or something in New York. So I started looking into it, right? I said it's more to it than what they telling us. They saying she just got robbed, they got hit. She's a Rothschild. Ain't no telling what she done did.
Well, one thing about it is, if you robbing a Rothschild, you practicing because they don't carry money. Now they might carry a bag of diamonds, but they might have a suitcase with a couple of gold bars with some gold coins in it. But for the most part, they don't carry money.
Yeah.
Especially Federal Reserve notes. They don't fuck with that shit because they know what it is.
They do, don't they? Just credit? Ain't that the system they trying to get us under? Debit? What?
They don't use credit.
No, or debit? No, they don't use none of it.
They use a system. They only requires their signature.
I read up on it. Yeah. So that's what that's a part of the paperwork that I was trying. So what is with the paperwork? No nationality. It was one guy I was like researching. He was saying you got to do your declaration. What's a declaration? Like, what's the difference from a declaration and getting a nationality card?
It's different.
It's no different.
It's different.
Okay, so when you making your declaration, because I was doing a paperwork and a process for the declaration.
It's not done by paperwork.
No, that's and so Big Mama sent you my way and was like, no, don't do it like that. So I started listening to you, and it made sense. And I stopped. I completely stopped.
Right. So look, the declaration is a public notice.
Yeah, but you said don't do it by paper.
No, you can write it, but you don't register it with no court system.
Okay.
Right? You put it in the public domain to state your sovereign position.
Okay.
You know, this is different than filing a contractual agreement to be a citizen in a corporation called a nation.
Okay.
Right? So when we tribe up, we don't use the system of election to select. We use the system of selection.
Okay.
And the selection is done by most loved, most respected.
Okay.
Right? This is according to the law of righteousness. It don't have nothing to do with the laws of nations, UCC.
Yeah.
Ancient Code of Thieves.
Yeah, because they're not going off laws. They're going off uniform commercial codes. Everything is coded. They make laws because they make a code. It makes a code to fit anything. So if you're found innocent, but they want to find you guilty, they're going to change their code. Right? Crazy.
So the court system really don't have anything to do with the people.
Okay.
They using you as like a thumb drive. You just information to them. You the same as that file sitting on the desk.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's why you ain't supposed to say nothing in court. Because you classified as an imbecile in law.
You did to them on paperwork.
Yeah.
I be telling people, all your mail come in all capital letters. That ain't how we spell our name. You spell your name first cap, the rest lower cap. So why they sending us bills with all cap?
So to research that further, you look in the law into something called style and title. And you can tell the imposter because his style and title is all cap block letters.
Okay.
Ours is italicized, capital, lowercase, 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 new word, capital, lowercase, lowercase.
Okay.
They always tell us who they is. If you look on a warrant, the warrant say the people of the state of Michigan versus John Hancock. Everybody shit capital. Yeah. But when you look on the Constitution, it's not written, people of the state of Michigan is not written in the same style and title as what's on the warrant.
Okay.
Right? So then you can see for yourself the difference.
Okay. That's crazy.
They gotta tell you their jurisdiction. How you got jurisdiction over me?
And who is the state?
Right? Like, but if you don't know how to press the issue of jurisdiction. It's real simple. First thing you ask them is, are you an Article 3 court? Because according to Article 3 of the United States Constitution, that all courts must be registered under Article 3.
Okay.
No state court is an Article 3 court, period.
Okay.
So now they still got subject matter jurisdiction, but they don't have the jurisdiction of the person.
Okay.
The subject matter is the subject, and they matter in a courtroom that don't got nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
But they holding you as the collateral for the debt.
Are they? Is they opening up your trust? Because I hear we all got a trust if you're from the land. Is they opening up your trust and using it every time you go to court? What's that about?
So they taking your trust is a trade instrument.
That's what you mean by the signature.